Olivia Perkins, a successful writer, is excited about her upcoming vacation to the Haven Isles. While in a bookstore, a fan asks for an autograph on her book, Lovebound, and Olivia happily obliges. She then tells her boyfriend, Kyle, who just walks in, about their anniversary getaway. But her excitement fades when Kyle abruptly breaks up with her, saying they're on different paths in life. Olivia is left stunned by the sudden turn of events. A month later, Olivia is struggling with writer's block as she works on her next book. Her publisher, Erica, gives her just 10 days to submit an outline or risk losing her spot to another author. Meanwhile, Prince Alexander enjoys Lovebound, but his pleasure is cut short when his aide, Winston, reminds him of his royal duties. Excited by an invitation to a fundraiser at the Haven Reserve, Alexander hopes for a break, but it clashes with the palace ball, leaving him unable to attend. Queen Patricia enters with her aide, Ridley, trying to set Alexander up with a potential lady, reminding him that the people of Tarovia expect him to marry soon. Alexander, uninterested in the lady his mother suggested, cleverly avoids the ball. Seems he's heading to the Haven Reserve after all. Meanwhile, Olivia struggles to start her outline and, frustrated, heads to the bookstore. There, Alexander accidentally bumps into her, causing her books to tumble to the ground. A spark seems to form between Olivia and Alexander as he praises Lovebound, unaware he's speaking to the author herself. After she leaves, he's shocked to learn Olivia Perkins was the woman he bumped into and rushes after her, but she's already gone. At home, Olivia's friend Katie brings her food and notices the Haven Isles pamphlet. Olivia sadly reveals it was meant to be a getaway for her and Kyle's anniversary, and admits she's hit a wall with her writing, fearing she may never write again. Katie comes up with a bright idea to go on vacation together with Olivia. It'll inspire Olivia to write and give them both a much-needed break. Reluctantly, Olivia agrees, and Katie is thrilled. Arriving at the Haven Isles, Olivia's adventurous spirit is still missing, while Katie excitedly discusses their plans. Meanwhile, Alexander and Winston also arrive, with Alexander eager for a break and urging Winston to enjoy himself too. In their room, Katie suggests they relax by the pool, but Olivia declines, saying she needs to work on her outline. When she still can't get anything written, she decides to join Katie. On her way, she spots Kyle with another woman and hides behind some plants. Just then, Alexander approaches and startles her, causing her to step out of her hiding spot. Olivia realizes that Alexander has recognized her this time and asks what he's doing in the Haven Isles. Just then, Kyle shows up, surprised to see Olivia. The situation becomes awkward when his date, Tiffany, joins them and introduces herself. Kyle, who rejected a vacation with Olivia a month ago, is now here with another woman he met just 3 weeks ago. Kyle suggests they catch up over lunch, but Alexander, sensing Olivia needs rescuing, steps in and says they have plans, sending Kyle on his way. Olivia thanks Alexander for the quick save, explaining that Kyle is her ex. Just then, Katie arrives, introduces herself, and Olivia pulls her away, eager to leave, while Alexander hopes to run into Olivia again. At the pool, Olivia vents about everything, but Katie reassures her that there's plenty of fun to be had on the island. Katie teases Olivia about Alexander, joking that it's destiny they met again in paradise, after learning they'd crossed paths before at the bookstore, earning a playful splash attack from Olivia. Later, while admiring the sea creatures at the Marine Reserve, Winston informs Alexander that Dr. Lee won't be available to host the fundraiser due to family issues. Alexander decides to take over and host the event himself, though he hesitates at the thought of giving a speech. He quickly regains his confidence, feeling a personal connection to the reserve since his father, King Alexander II, helped build it. Deciding to take a walk, Alexander spots Olivia and asks Winston not to mention his prince status. They approach her, and Alexander introduces Winston as Winnie. He mentions he's working on the Marine Reserve fundraiser and invites Olivia to try some recreational activities. Before she can decline, Katie interrupts, greeting them and accepting the offer for Olivia. After a brief, not-so-private conversation with Katie, Olivia reluctantly agrees. On their way back, Winston expresses discomfort with the pretense, but Alexander reassures him he'll reveal his identity when the time is right. It's the first real connection he's had without his prince status, and he wants to explore it as a normal person. Unbeknownst to them, Ridley is also in the Haven Isles, spying on their every move and reporting back to Queen Patricia. The next morning, Olivia, Alexander, Katie, and Winston enjoy a day filled with adventure and fun activities. After coming across Kyle and Tiffany and winning a volleyball game against them, the group heads to a picnic. Winston almost reveals Alexander's true identity, but they quickly cover it up. Katie convinces Winston to go snorkeling, leaving Olivia and Alexander alone. There's clear romantic tension between them as they share a quiet moment. Meanwhile, Ridley reports back to Queen Patricia, who grows curious about Olivia and assigns him to uncover her identity. While on a walk, Alexander reveals his mother wanted a different career path for him, and Olivia shares the same struggle since her mom wants her to pursue real estate. Olivia then asks about his father, and Alexander reveals he passed away. He explains that his father helped build the Marine Reserve, making the island his safe place. Olivia admits she's never traveled farther than Jersey, surprising Alexander since she writes so much about adventure and love. Olivia writes from her imagination, but while she'd love a real adventure, she lacks the time. She confides in Alexander about her writer's block and looming deadline, which terrifies her, and Alexander encourages her to take her time with everything. Later, he thanks her for the wonderful day and invites her to the Marine Reserve fundraiser as his date. She gladly accepts before heading to her room. It seems the two are beginning to fall head over heels for each other. Olivia admits to Katie that spending time with Alexander has been more than enjoyable and has started writing again. Meanwhile, Alexander tells Winston that Olivia is perfect. Though Winston insists he should reveal his true identity, Alexander is still waiting for the right moment. Well, in most cases, there's always never a right moment. Later, Ridley delivers a bottle of wine to Olivia and Katie, claiming it's from the guys, but his real intention is to learn Olivia's full name. After reporting to Queen Patricia, she learns that Olivia isn't from high society and begins making plans to separate them. Later, Alexander gathers the courage to reveal his identity and heads to meet Olivia, who's writing under a tree. Just as he's about to tell her the truth, Winston interrupts with urgent news about a family matter. Ridley arrives, revealing Alexander's royal status and insisting the Queen wants to speak with him. Olivia, stunned by the revelation, storms off before Alexander can explain, feeling betrayed by his lies. Frustrated, Alexander takes the call from Queen Patricia, who orders him to end things with Olivia, insisting he can't be involved with a commoner. She hangs up, leaving him feeling more frustrated than ever. Back in their room, Olivia updates Katie on the situation. Katie urges her to give Alexander a chance to explain, insisting he must have had a good reason for keeping his identity a secret. Just then, Alexander knocks and apologizes, explaining he kept the truth from her because he wanted a chance to be normal and get to know her. He promises to make it up to her and properly reintroduces himself with his title, bringing a smile to Olivia's face. She accepts his apology, and they head out for lunch together, leaving Katie swooning at their romance. Meanwhile, as Ridley heads to catch his flight, he receives a call from Queen Patricia asking about the situation between Alexander and Olivia. Ridley admits he's never seen Alexander so happy, leaving the Queen with mixed feelings. He begins to suggest something but stops himself, much to her dismay. At the Marine Reserve, Olivia is captivated by the sea creatures, and Alexander explains that the reserve relies on donations, making the fundraiser crucial. However, he admits he's not great at speeches. He successfully gets Olivia to go snorkeling with him, having a first-hand view of the beauty in nature. Afterward, Olivia admits the experience was incredible, despite her initial fear, and offers to help him with his speech, leaving Alexander touched by her kindness. Over the next couple of scenes, Olivia works on Alexander's speech and greatly progresses on her outline. Alexander takes Olivia to see the waterfalls in the forest, and she's awestruck by the beauty. He shares that it was his father's favorite place, and expresses his wish to do more for the reserve and the world. However, when the throne passes to him, he worries he won't have the time due to the Queen's strict adherence to tradition. Olivia encourages Alexander to embrace change and follow his dreams, regardless of others' opinions. On their walk back, they overhear Tiffany and Kyle arguing about Kyle's unavailability. As Tiffany storms off, Alexander receives a call from the reserve and steps away. Olivia advises Kyle to talk things out with Tiffany, and he admits Alexander is lucky to have someone like her. Back in their room, Katie is appalled by Olivia's outfit for the fundraiser and quickly sets to work styling her. After several attempts, Katie finally approves the perfect look. At the event, Alexander, dressed in full royal regalia, is anxious, especially since he hasn't told Olivia he'll be leaving for Tarovia the next day. When he sees her, he's struck by her beauty and compliments her outfit. Alexander delivers a flawless speech, announcing he's establishing a foundation in his father's name to support the facility and others worldwide. He asks Olivia to dance, and their chemistry is undeniable. When he urges her to share the outline she's been working on, she reveals it's about an everyday woman who falls for a prince in disguise on an island. Their romantic moment leads them to lean in for a kiss, but just as their lips are about to touch, Queen Patricia interrupts. Alexander is surprised to see Queen Patricia and introduces her to Olivia. During dinner, the Queen appears displeased with both Alexander's announcement and Olivia's writing. Just then, Ridley arrives to escort Alexander for photos with the donors, leaving Olivia alone with the Queen. Queen Patricia wastes no time, telling Olivia she's out of her depth with Alexander. She paints a bleak picture of what would happen if Olivia became his queen, insisting she can never fit into his world. Olivia is left teary-eyed as the Queen boldly tells her to walk away if she truly cares about Alexander. Unable to stay, Olivia leaves, her eyes brimming with tears. When Alexander returns to the table, he's surprised by Olivia's absence. Queen Patricia fabricates a story, claiming Olivia has a headache and goes to rest. Though Alexander wants to check on her, the Queen insists he stays. Meanwhile, Olivia, crying on her way back, runs into Kyle, who badmouths Alexander and tries to reconcile with her, but Olivia firmly refuses. Back in their room, Katie is shocked to find Olivia in tears and comforts her. Sadly, they both leave the island that night. The next morning, Alexander goes to check on Olivia, only to learn she and Katie have returned to America. Furious, he storms to confront Queen Patricia, who defends her actions, claiming she was protecting his best interests. Tensions rise as Alexander orders Winston to pack for a flight to America, and Queen Patricia is displeased. He tells her that his happiness matters, revealing they're in the same situation. Alexander realizes that Queen Patricia has feelings for Ridley, something Olivia pointed out the night before. He urges her to open up, and she admits that after the king passed, she was lonely, and Ridley's kindness made her feel cared for. However, she never pursued her feelings, fearing it would cause a scandal. Alexander reassures her that times and people change, and they too must adapt. Sacrificing what's right for outdated traditions isn't living, and Alexander urges her not to make a mistake she'll regret. He thanks her for always looking out for him but reminds her he's no longer a child. Asking her to trust him, he leaves with Winston, leaving the Queen conflicted and emotional. Back in America, Olivia feels disappointed, but pushes forward with her outline. During a video call, Erica praises her writing, but is disappointed by the lack of a happy ending, insisting readers want fairy tales. Olivia argues that life isn't always a fairy tale, but she's interrupted by the sound of the doorbell and goes to check. She's stunned to find Alexander standing on her porch. Katie reveals she's the one who brought Alexander and Winston, urging Olivia to hear him out. Alexander apologizes for everything and confesses his feelings. Olivia, wanting to avoid more complications, insists on moving on since his mother doesn't approve. However, she's shocked once again when Queen Patricia enters her house with Ridley. Queen Patricia apologizes to Olivia, explaining that in protecting her family, she lost sight of true happiness. She reveals she's found hers with Ridley, making Olivia smile. They all leave, giving Olivia and Alexander privacy. Alexander confesses his love, promising her an adventure despite the challenges of royal life. Guess Olivia gets to have her fairy tale ending after all. They share a passionate, toe-curling kiss, beginning their story together. And of course, Olivia's book is titled A Royal in Paradise,